Oh my God.
Here we are again.
Hostage crisis day.
What is it, 31? Something like that. Yeah. Hi guys. Hello world. Welcome to our show, The Shit Show.
You're not on, dude.
All right.
He's not on. Listen to the sweet sounds of my voice as we burn off the first minute of this 30-minute.
I was trying to save the batteries.
You were trying to make it as bad as last show.
I really felt like that fell on you, but we're
This
okay.
time in amazing audio color.
Hello again.
Hello
Lovely to see you all. Thanks for coming to The Shit Show. Tonight we have a very special guest with us. We have a few little announcements. First things first, on the site.
On the Truth and Audio site.
On the Truth and Audio site, hence the sign behind me. Which is Bernie's entity and operation. It's a school to try to make people truly understand the audio business, opposed to some of the other folks out there that are shit in the bed. We have links to many institutions that are offering support and grants in this crazy time of COVID-19 that include Music Cares, Crew Nation, many that might be able to help you or offer you support in this nutty time that we're living in. Please avail yourself if you can find that it can help you in any way in this crazy time. We're very much about disseminating information. Bernie?
Yep. So it's truth-in-audio.com because some prick a couple of years ago when we were doing a search for a domain, they have these things that figure that shit out. And so what they do is they snatch up all those domains that you're searching for. So then when you go back to try to register that domain, it's not available anymore. And then they send you a subsequent email to say for 10 grand, you can have this, so truthandaudio.com was gone. Great story. Those assholes came back to us again like 3 months ago or something like that and came back and said, well, for $1,500 you can have this domain. By the time my sister, the general manager of Truth and Audio, was done, she got it for $100. $100. I said $100. Well, she actually made the call. She said, I'm just going to buy it for $100. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah.
So from 10 grand to 1,500 to $100.
But still, with 100, it left lots of hyphens and challenges in there.
No, it's just Truth and Audio. But I mean, it's still currently it's Truth and Audio with hyphens.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll switch it eventually. Anyway,
we'd like people to be able to find us.
It's
ideally.
It's there.
Yes. So luckily tonight we've had a very interesting day. Last time we came before you, we had some audio problems. We're live show people. We put on big rock shows. We don't do a lot of broadcasting, so forgive us. We're hoping that this time is considerably better. We have Leif Osborne behind the camera running things, and he's
bringing in the talent.
He's bringing in the talent. That's correct. And hopefully this will go well. Tonight, before we started the show, we did a pre-tape with one of our favorite people in the world. Unfortunately, it went very long because there was just so much to share. One of the best audio engineers in the game, easily one of the top 5 audio engineers, Greg Price from Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Rage Against the Machine, you name it, Van Halen. And that can be found on the site in its entirety as a sub piece, we're
going to put it together. We're going to edit it out. It was like, we wanted to make it short, but it went way long, and trying to pick the right piece of this discussion to put up on the show was just ridiculous.
Virtually impossible.
So I said, scrap it.
Yeah.
Let's do the whole thing in its entirety so that everybody gets to hear every word he says. So that's forthcoming. We're not done yet. It's not up yet, but we're going to edit it down and we're going to put it up, and you'll be freaking glad you watched this. It's really cool.
He's a legend. He's a living legend and an amazing human being.
Yep.
What we have brought to the table today is something very, very special. A dear, dear friend, a gentleman that we share Thanksgiving with when we're lucky enough to, and have had an association with for many, many years. A true talent in the video world. The guy you call when you want to capture a show, when you want to get it right, when you want to turn that into a DVD you can sell. You bring in the one and the only, John Fukishima, also known as Fuki. Good evening, John.
How you doing,
How are
man?
you, sir? It's so
I
good
am
to
so
see you.
jazzed.
Yeah,
It's good to be here.
You are the next lucky contestant on Shit Show. Come on down.
Yeah, what's my prize?
We'll work that out after the show. There might
They
be
get to
some
hear you. That's what your
legalities about
prize
that. So you are like a cat with 9 lives. You've had a very an extraordinary life, really. You are a member of the Hells Angels for going on 43 years, I believe.
43 years this October.
Yes, sir. Tried and true, proven hardcore badass, and also one of the top videographers in live rock and roll.
Yes.
When you put on a big show and you want to capture the moment, you call John Fukishima. And Fuki, I know you've worked with everybody from Aerosmith to Paul McCartney. I guess that was last year. This year,
2018 was Paul McCartney.
Was that it? Yeah.
Lost to City Limits.
Yep. And you did No Doubt and many other bands. I think your most recent incarnation was with the Rolling Stones.
That's right.
The big dogs in the game. They out and captured their stuff, ran the jib for them, and what more can be said? You've got history with doing a lot of pyro. 12, 13 years at Burning Man and
blowing shit up,
burning down anything you can get your hands on.
Somebody asked me if we were going to blow shit up. Would you mind coming back to blow shit up with us, please?
Anytime.
All right.
We'll do something in the parking lot, burn down
Absolutely.
small cabinets or something, break up some 4880s or something in a big heap. But we're absolutely honored to have you here.
Yeah, man.
You're a true
I'm
friend.
glad to be here, man. You're my brother. And, you know,
I'm your new brother.
Yeah. You're
Brother in waiting.
Yes.
You're my motorcycle brother.
Yes, that's the
brother
thing,
indeed.
you two
We will talk bikes.
Yeah,
my friend.
let's
We
not
will
jump
talk
ahead
bikes.
too far, but yeah, these two gentlemen have a deep fondness for the motorcycle and motorcycle world, and they can speak to that individually together. Right now, as you know, John, we're in a crazy time. The world seems a little upside down. And I have, as you know, I have the Backstage Pass. Many of you know me from the Backstage Pass on Facebook and the closed group Death by Loadout. I'm also the operations manager for Sound Image Productions. Bernie is a lead speaker, loudspeaker designer in the world for the last 30 years for many large companies that many of you folks have used his product, from anything from EAW to L Acoustics and beyond. True pioneer in the world of loudspeakers. He took and was part of the team that brought Adaptive, Anya, Otto, and Anna to the stage, to the world that we have now. Really the first advancement in loudspeakers in 17, 18 years. It was done by this young man and his team. And of course, Mr. Fukishima. Yeah, I mean, what can be said? You, sir, are a revelation. I know that you've been in many things for many years and have your irons in a lot of fires. I know that you're a machinist for many years, that you've been a tried and true member of your motorcycle group and counted on an ally for them. But also I know for the last 10, 12 years, you have become kind of a star in the videography business, again, working most recently with Rolling Stones. How does somebody do that? How do you advance so quickly to such a level, to really the ultimate level in that part of the game, in our industry, to work with the Rolling Stones, the biggest dogs in the game, in 12 years? What's your secret, Johnny?
I don't have a secret, man. I just put a lot of hard work and effort into it. You know, every time I'm behind the lens there, I want to put on the screens what I would like to see up there.
You bet.
And to me, it's important that what you're putting up there is the audience is going to really appreciate and love it.
Well, everything I've seen from you, I've absolutely. It's like you're there. It's you almost the barrier between the viewing platform, a TV, whatever it may be, and the show almost disappears with the videography that I've seen that you've done. It's absolutely magical. You're able to capture the live event, which is not an easy thing to do in audio or video, and you seem to just have that nailed. I know that you have a partner in crime that you work with closely in Joe Victoria, who's
Absolutely.
kind of a badass in his own right. I mean, my goodness, I know he's Metallica's best guy. How would you suggest that people that are coming up in the business, we have many young viewers out here right now watching us from the world, the industry world of entertainment, that are curious how you can make those kind of moves so rapidly. Anything you can share with them?
I don't really have any secrets to it. You know, like I retired from the auto industry in 2007. I worked for an internet company as an automotive consultant for nearly a year. Hated that fucking job. I could not sit behind a desk for fucking 8
Yeah, no
hours
shit.
Yeah, it's not for people like
looking
us.
at screens. It didn't work for me. So I attended a lot of concerts, you know, because being a Hell's Angel, I got a lot of passes to go see shows.
You bet.
And one time I was just sitting there looking around, looking at the screens, looking at the camera guys, and going, I asked my buddy, you know, what's it take to be a camera operator? And he says, well, some of the guys are with the tour, some of the guys are truck drivers. I go, wait a minute. You got truck drivers running those cameras? And he goes, yeah, we give them $100 and they get behind the camera and just shoot the show. I go, I can fucking do that.
Yeah.
You don't need a truck driver, you need me.
Yeah.
And talking with my contacts in the industry, I got my first start by a good buddy of mine asking his director if I can shoot an opening act for him. And that's basically where I started.
So the old adage of just kind of walking up and asking, it always seems to hold true, right? It's like, because you don't know what you don't know.
Worst answer you're going to get is no.
Right. You see these guys doing this shit. You're like, oh, they're all pros. They're all this. You come to learn it's the truck drivers.
Yeah.
And so you jump on it. You say, I can do that. I walk in. I do it. And so you teach now too, right? Like I've seen you.
I teach for the local IATSC Local 134.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I mean it's a craft, man. I mean, I remember the first time that I walked into a television studio that I knew from television, and experienced it in real life, and it was so freaking tiny compared to what the camera moves and the jib moves and stuff. On television, it looked freaking enormous to me with all the movement and stuff that was happening. But in reality, it was a really tiny studio.
Right.
And that largely has to do with those sweet moves you guys make over the audience. And you know, it seems like the camera goes on for a mile before it stops again, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. It's really cool stuff and expensive stuff too, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yes, very
the
expensive.
Equipment. Yeah, yeah.
Typical front of house camera is almost $250,000.
Oh my goodness.
It's so we're obviously making you
You're
fucking
talking
laugh
about
here,
lens,
right?
camera, tripod.
You're laughing
whole
your ass
shebang.
off right now, aren't you? You're looking around at what we got.
Small-time production.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I shit that for breakfast.
That's a great camera, though.
You know what a great camera is? The one that actually works.
Yeah.
Same with my audio.
Yeah.
The audio that actually works is great.
We're going with
audio.
that.
We're going with that.
Yes, yes.
My phone's not blowing up, so I think we're still transmitting. Should have been here last week, right?
Yeah.
Had about 20 people texting me and phoning me. I'm going, I'm on air. What the hell you think you're gonna do? Stop and answer your phone call?
We still had our broadcasting training wheels on,
Diapers,
and we were still dumping it, hitting the ground a couple times. But
for audio specialists out there, it's called different sampling rates.
there you go. There you go.
You know, I do want to add in, too, though.
What's that?
Is I worked as a utility for Joe Victoria for quite a while. We used to do shows at the Fillmore.
Wow.
And I learned a lot. I mean, Joe is my fucking mentor.
Yeah, no shit, right?
He's a badass.
And
And
I
great
learned
attitude.
a lot from him.
Just a sweet guy.
I owe a lot to him.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that are just like pinnacles of divisions, right? You talk to audio guys. We talk about Greg Price.
That's right.
And Joe, and all these people, they're just like the mountaintop of where you want to get to, whatever role you take on in the industry. You just aspire to be those people. Can I be as fucking cool as that guy? Can I be as calm and as collected? And I'll tell you what, right? I'm 55 now. God.
Yeah, you're super
You're
old.
still a kid.
In this room.
But it's something you come to grips with as you get older, that you not that you've arrived per se, but you're in that top section of your industry, and then you look back and you realize how many years it took to get some sort of even internal recognition that you did a good job. You were on the right path. You made the right choices. I don't remember it happening. I mean,
in your career.
yeah, I don't remember that day. There you go. Someone's calling you. I told you to mute that thing. No. Not this time. No. We're talking to
Boss,
the
I'm
man.
going to have to call you back in a minute. Yeah, we're doing a show, buddy. You know I love you. It's my brother, the big boss.
He's coming up on interview. I'm putting him on camera here soon.
I'll call you right back. Bear with me, buddy. You were saying, I'm sorry.
But anyway, I look back, as we're all up there in age now, and we look back and we go, wow, it kind of finally arrived. Do you feel that way with what you do? And like, obviously you're with the fucking Stones, dude.
I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I just keep on going.
Yeah, you don't notice it,
I'm
right?
gonna be
You
68
don't notice
next
it.
month.
Yeah.
My God, Fuki, 68. I would never in a million years.
You don't look
would
it,
have guessed.
man.
I have known you for quite some time.
I
I
know.
would
I
never
don't
would have guessed.
tell you I don't feel it, except
No.
when I wake up in the morning.
Sure. That's when it comes in, and all of a sudden,
But,
it starts to check out. Absolutely.
So I sorry, I got it. Unless you got a really good question lined up.
Hey, shoot from the hip, baby. What you
Hogs.
got? Oh, we're going into motorcycles, ladies and gentlemen.
He's out. He's out.
This is a relatively recent development. He has gotten more into the cruisers, I think.
Absolutely. So you said you went to a Honda.
I started out with the 2016 Honda Goldwing, but I rode Harleys for 47 years.
No shit, you did.
And
They rode you.
Harleys are a great status symbol. They sound great.
Yep.
They look cool on them.
Yep.
But they fucking break all the time, and they empty your wallet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been
Like an
from
American
the
car.
very beginning. I was a sport bike guy, sport touring bike guy to start with. I still have about 10 different motorcycles. That tractor parked across the parking lot that you've seen me tinkering with and stuff. That is my first big twin. And I never really wanted one, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I was never really interested. I got the whole eye jewelry thing and that whole thing, but I wanted a bike that could actually stop and start and turn, and go. So I have a couple of Ducatis. My son used to race MV Agustas. I've got one of their F3s, the 3-cylinder 675s. But I came by this bike, and I had every intention of flipping it and getting out of it again. And I had a Kawasaki Vulcan for like 2 months that I did in a deal, and I went out and rode it, and I felt cheap and dirty, right? I really did. It was a beautiful bike to look at, but I'm like, I'm a fraud. This is not the real McCoy. This is a perfectly functioning copy of the real McCoy, which is a Harley. And when I got this, which is not a Harley per se, it's made by a company called American Performance Cycle. It was after that whole big Orange County Choppers.
Yeah, it's all clones.
All clones, copies. But it's, much closer to the representation of the real deal, right? It's based on evolution motor and all that kind of shit. So I took it out and rode it around, and I thought for sure I'm going to do like with the Vulcan, I'm going to do like one pass, and then I'm going to come up and stuff a for sale sign on it. And I took this thing out, and I don't know if it's my age or I was bored. I don't know. I really started to get into this thing for no other reason that it was a completely different visceral experience than what I was used to. I didn't ask it to turn. I didn't ask it to brake hard. I just lobbed along on this thing and enjoyed it for exactly what it was. So I've become at 55 years old, I've been riding bikes since I was 15. My first bike was a GT380 Suzuki, 3-cylinder,
Started at the
two-stroke.
same time.
Yeah. So at 55, I've kind of found a new love. Maybe the way you have we've kind of reversed positions here. You with the Honda and me with the tractor over there.
I started with a Honda 305 Scrambler when I was 15 years
Ah,
old.
yes, the Scrambler.
And I had my first Harley in 1972. And those are the days when you wanted a custom bike. You had to make everything.
You made it, absolutely.
There was no custom builders,
Yeah.
off-the-shelf parts.
How is it
You made
custom if it's off the shelf?
You
I
made
mean,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fabricated
You drew it up. You designed it. You made it yourself.
You'll be proud of me because there was a number of parts that I've replaced on this thing already, and my entire stockpile of parts is metric parts. From Ducatis, from Agustas, from Japanese bikes and everything. And I've started grafting Japanese parts onto this bike, like my foot pegs, my shift linkage is from Dynojet, everything's all metric. So now when I go out to work out, I got to bring like double pile of tools because I need all the imperial sizes and all the metric sizes to go along with it, depending on which particular fastener I'm turning, But and so in the beginning, I thought maybe I was going to make this thing the best it could be. But over the course of time, I've kind of changed my mind on that, and I kind of want it to be a bit of a rat rod, a bit of a hobbled together experience. Not to make it, not what it is, but in other words, kind of in restoration to the way you used to do customs in the old days. You used what you had, and you didn't have the money, so you just grafted a part because it worked. Yeah, and in that you come up with something that's completely unique and original based on functionality, not on looks or style. I like it because it's got a 180 series rear tire. So it was right in the it's a 2002 or 2003, so it was before they went to the giant 300 series tires and all these customs and everything and stuff. So it's a bigger tire, but it still, I think, embodies a bit of an old school spirit, It's black with gray flames on it, no big blinging, blinging out or anything like that. I think I'm going to keep it, man. I actually think I'm going to keep the damn thing.
Good choice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep hold to it, and I'm going to get you to come over one of these days and point a couple of things out and say, do this and do this. That would be fun. And I could probably hook a computer up to your Honda if you ever need it.
Just get rid of the speed limiter.
There you go.
First thing it's got to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ditch the governor.
Yeah.
So, burning right along, we made a promise last week, and we keep our promises.
We have this thing, in the audio industry and really in the entertainment industry. There's a ton of different myths that we've run across and kind of shared with each other over the many decades. From the one we worked on last week, which is can you cook a chicken with a couple park hands? Well, we did it. Yes, the answer to that was yes. We had it on a moving light doing the little rotisserie, and that worked out. One that I've heard my whole life, my brother likes to refer to this one as, can you hammer nails with a 58? Well, I don't know, and the mics still work. I don't know. I haven't actually had to do that. But I feel like we should test that theory out. But would it be fair to directly go right after the 58, or should we try a perceived lesser microphone first? I don't know. Maybe I got a bunch of old school stuff in my Pelican. I've got a CM 300 Crown. It's kind of a sure ripoff. Yeah. I want to plug that sucker in and see if I can put some nails in some wood with that. We'll move from there over to a 58 that I've got lingering around, and see if there's any truth to this myth, or is it a fact? I don't know. There's only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out.
And it's to go ahead and pound some nails. If you excuse me for a second, I'm going to grab my little table here.
It's called practical effects.
John, would you bear with me for a second? I'm gonna see what happens with this real quick here. All right. Let's mute this guy so I don't make big sounds when I open them up. I'm gonna
check it first. Make sure it's working.
Well, that's what we're going to do first. So here's the crown. Check 1, 2. 1, 2, check.
There's a big button.
Yeah, I probably should have checked this son of a bitch before we did this. Well, let's move on already to the hammering process, which is probably my favorite thing. So we have proved that you can actually hammer nails with a microphone with only a...
What is that? Is that a bear? What is it? What is that?
The crown, Dave.
It's the crown. I thought it was a bear for a second. I was going to say...
So you can, in fact, do it. I've got an old shear here. Let's see what we can make happen with this. I'm really curious. Now, I've been hearing this myth for, my God, 30 years, that you can make a shear... Check 1, 2, 1, 2.
There we go.
Okay.
So
we have a working microphone.
We have a working.
But will it be working when we're done? That is the larger question. Let's give it a shot.
All right.
Let's give it a shot. Check 1, 2.
Yes!
Check 1, 2. It turns out it works, fellas.
It
Ladies and gentlemen,
It works.
Sheer never let you down. 58, a true workhorse of the industry, has proven itself once again. I've dropped these from high altitudes, chucked them off of stages, lost them into audiences more times than I care to admit, and retrieved them and found them to be working. Sheer makes a hell of a product. And you know what? We love them for it. Thank you, Sheer. Thank you. That myth has been broken.
Oh,
and
my
we've
freaking
busted,
God.
And we're good. Thank you.
Oh my freaking God!
During my weirdness.
All right, so we have one more feature. We have one more feature here. I said the last time we were on I was gonna start using our chat because we want to have engagement. And
questions from the audience?
Yes. Well, answers from the. I'm going to pose the question, and I'm looking for answers. Okay. And so today's question. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick the best answer, the funniest answer. We're going to put you guys to the test, and so here's my throw-in, and I think this is a good thing to start doing.
What's that?
I'm gonna send the fucking best answer a free T-shirt, Truth and Audio shirt. You know, I had those bitchin' shirts.
Really great shirts.
Yeah, professionally trained to tuna fish. Tuna fish,
Yeah,
you know,
we
Ario
get it.
Speedwagon.
Yeah, we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
And of course, we know everybody in the business loves swag.
We love swaggle.
I don't think you have enough T-shirts out there.
So I'll send a T-shirt to the
we
best
use
answer
more.
to this.
More T-shirts.
More T-shirts to
Yeah.
polish my car
Yeah.
with. Why are riggers so upset?
They're a grumpy bunch.
That's it. There's the question. Now we shall wait, and we can move on, and we will wait, and Leaf will pick one of the answers to give us the best, and the winner gets. I bet you I got some rigger friends on there.
No,
So,
I guarantee it.
Yeah. So we're looking for the most creative answer.
I want to say props to the riggers. You know, we couldn't get it done without
We
you.
love 'em.
We love our riggers. Riggers are the badasses in the game. They're the guys that go up high on the steel and get it done. And without you guys, we couldn't do it. And so, personally, as departments go in our industry, one of my favorite departments.
It's the reality check department.
Yes. Can it really be done safely? I mean, these are the guys that hang, thousands of pounds of cabinets, the speakers over your heads.
You think you got responsibility?
Yeah. I'm worried if the audience is going to enjoy the show because I mixed it right or wrong. No, it's the real issues that we face and worry about out there. Are we going to drop 12?
Don't forget the video walls.
Don't forget the video walls.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody should have been there.
Yeah, well, we saw that happen in Vegas last year. Drop a whole video wall.
Crazy.
That was nuts, and luckily nobody was hurt. But, it is in our business, it's one thing that definitely keeps us up at night. We're dealing with a lot of electricity. We're dealing with a lot of weight. We're changing venues, show to show to show when you're out on tour. And it's the part that we take, I'd like to think most of us take most seriously, is the safety of the audience, the band, and the whole endeavor. Leaf, do you have something for us?
You have one?
Because riggers look down on other people.
Well, we already knew that. That was
Okay, we'll put that one in the hopper. We got a couple of minutes left.
That one was already well known.
We'll get another one. They look down on everybody else. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as the people that they're hard to get along with. Riggers are hard to get along with. Of anybody on a crew that I feel the happiest being friends with,
Yes.
is a rigger.
You
Like
think
if you have a rigger as a friend on the crew, you're doing pretty good.
Well, there's a thing. I know my brother has a practice. We like to, when you're going from city to city, this is something that he taught me years and years ago, was get friendly with security.
Yep.
Security is always, these guys are out there. It's a thankless job. They're hit and miss, and they're given a certain amount of responsibility, and many of them take it very seriously. Who can come and go from where to where? And so we roll up on them early in the show. We bring them a cup of coffee, maybe a little joint, and we get friendly. We spend a few minutes with them, show them some love.
Security is high. That's what he's saying.
And in effect, we come and go and do as we please, as we should, since we're all access. But a lot of those times, if you don't develop this relationship with them, this is advice that to the new guys in the business, I cannot state this enough. make friends with your security. They will be there when the shit jumps off. I came from the punk rock scene. Me and my brother started in the punk rock scene. And the rare and occasional times when we had security, it was critically important because, people were trying to pull down speaker towers and turn them into bonfires. And that was when security really came in and really in hand. I hear we have another question from the gal.
No, we have another answer. Do you
Another
have a new answer?
What do you got over there,
What's the next best one that's coming in?
When you're up as God in the arena and looking down at humans in general, I would be uptight too.
That's pretty
I like that.
spot on.
That's
all net.
Yeah,
that does make sense.
So we're ants basically. We're belittled.
The little people.
We're the little people. Yeah. So I'm going to throw a curveball at the both of y'all.
Okay.
And I'm going to start out because I can take it as well as I can give it. That kind of thing. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to remember the very first band that ever had, or artists of solo artists that ever had an influence on me in any way, shape, or form as I kind of started to find an interest in music in general. As I started, I'm talking like 8 or 9 years old or something like that.
Sure.
Right? And I'm going to be blatantly honest with the both of you.
It's the only way you can be.
The Bay City fucking Rollers.
They rung your bell.
My sisters were like huge fans of the Bay City Rollers. They had their shit all over the walls and everything like that. And I'm like a kid,
were
right?
Big in their time. Big.
They were like the fucking next coming of the Beatles, for Christ's sakes, in that time. And so I'm going to be perfectly honest. This is another great question. Maybe we'll do this as a poll. Being as honest, dead honest as you can. It's all about honesty. As you think about this for a minute, make it the most embarrassing, but the first artist that kind of brought you into, because if you say fucking Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin, I'm walking out.
Are you saying into the business or into music?
No, in the music in general.
Oh, it was the Cars, no doubt about
Cars.
it. I mean, when I was young, this is the
Not
first.
nearly embarrassing enough.
No, because when I was young, music was kind of spoon-fed to me. I'm 10, 12 years old. Mom's handed me little Beatles Apple Core 45s. Yeah. But when it came time, I think it was 78. I want to say 78. And we were in the L.A. radio market, which is a huge market and, great, really a lot of selection there. And we were listening, I think, KRLQ, and the debut of the Cars' first album came out. And my God, it just struck me. It just hit me.
Yeah.
And I took my money from my piggy bank, and I got my mom to take me to the whatever, I think back then it was Tower Records. I honestly don't remember where we went, and got that album and played it till I, wore a groove into it. And very, very shortly thereafter, my brother, which is, not uncommon, you follow the lead of your older brother, who is kind of in the forefront of a movement that was just happening, which was punk rock, L.A. punk rock, brought home the Germs. The Germs album, Derby Crash, the infamous Derby Crash, long gone Derby Crash, brought home the Germs, produced by, I believe, that was produced by Pat Benatar. And my God, talk about just changing gears overnight. Incredible, just hard hitting, incredibly well produced, fast, a little pissed off. We're going in from the Carter era into the Reagan era, and some of us were a little angry. We weren't feeling it, and this music spoke to that.
The Bay City Rollers had none of that?
They didn't. They were just pretty boys with a little, doo-wop, wop, wop, Yeah, sorry.
And you, sir?
I go way back farther than that.
The
Back
craziest.
to the Birds, the Kinks.
Good
the
stuff.
Kinks.
You're talking like 64
Jefferson
Kinks.
Airplane.
Oh, sure. Get many times we
I am
run
the
to the
most
Star Show.
pathetic fucking creature amongst the three of you
But
guys.
the Seeds.
No. It's
One that probably most people don't remember are the Seeds.
The Seeds?
The band The
Pushing
Seeds?
too hard.
Oh, I don't think I'm even familiar with that.
don't think I know
I'm going to have to
either.
look that up.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody check out
Yeah.
the Seeds. If Fuki says the Seeds are
check
something to
out
know,
the
you should
Seeds.
know it. Trust me on this. How about this question? As I have many awful memories
Questions?
of bad things happening at big shows that I was responsible for. Let me bring it to you first, and then I'll relay my story. What is the worst thing while you were on a big show that somehow or another you were either a part of or nearby that's ever happened to you at a large show during the performance?
Oh my God, man.
I mean, the stuff that gives you nightmares. You wake up hard on it
I
at
don't
night.
get nightmares.
Well, all right.
Put that to bed a long time
He's
ago.
excluded from the nightmare process. Good.
Right?
Yeah.
You got
know,
anything?
What's the craziest thing
Okay,
that's gone
it
down?
would be at the Mabuhay Gardens.
Oh, yeah,
one of your
Mab Fab.
punk rock clubs in San Francisco.
Yeah, right there on Broadway
When I
Street.
was doing a video for my friend's band. I don't remember what the band's name was, but it was Fleet Week at the same time.
Oh, boy.
So we had San Francisco inundated with sailors, and I went to do the video of the band, and my girlfriend was sitting at the table, surrounded by the sailors, and they were giving her a bad time. So I went over there and told them to back off. What I didn't know is when I went back to video the band, they were getting agitated, they were getting drunk. My girlfriend had called for backup. She had called some members to come down, said she thinks there's going to be a problem.
Members.
She was right.
Yeah, some
Members
of his
came
club.
down.
Not good.
That's not what you want to hear.
As soon as the band stopped playing, all hell broke out.
Oh, I bet.
All hell broke out there.
I can only
And
imagine.
I thought I was by myself now. I didn't know
Wow.
that 7 other of my brothers had shown up. So
That must have been so fun. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
I
That
turn
must have been
around.
so
Fun is fun.
but- no,
and
this
there
is
they are. You know,
One
and,
word.
Oh, so good.
long story short,
Yeah.
they were on the losing end of the stick.
I had
yeah.
a feeling it was going to come out that way, yeah.
But that's really the premise of the club, isn't it? I mean,
The MPs went to SFPD.
Yeah.
And they said, we want the guys that
Beat the shit out of the
damaged
sailors.
government property. And they just laughed at them. Well, good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Good luck with that
But
one.
they got your back, right? I mean,
Oh,
that's the
you can, no,
thing.
they're brothers.
Absolutely.
You make a phone
These
call.
are brothers. They don't
Just
ask no
I
questions.
didn't even make
they
the phone
just show
call. I
up
had
and they
no
do
idea
the work.
they were there.
Right.
No, his chick did it,
Yeah.
and it was on. It was all downhill for the sailors at that point.
Yeah.
Know
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
at
yeah.
any time.
Yeah.
So for me,
Bad news.
For me, the one that sticks really hard. I've got a bunch of them. Don't get me wrong. I got a couple from the '80s with me and my brother early on in the Eddie Money days and Greg Ken stuff that are full-on knockdown dragouts. But one, just a personal humiliation. We were doing what the hell is it called in the park? Outside Lands. We were doing an Outside Lands show. This must be, I want to say 2007, 8, around there, give or take. And I was working the stage for Mastodon and Mars Volta. And Dennis Dean was mixing the show, and this is in Golden Gate Park, so it's uneven surfaces, and we've got the front of house tent up, and they've thrown it up, and there's 7 stages, and then I think Pearl Jam's playing behind us, and Dave Matthews is over there, and so on. And then of course I wanted to be where the music I could relate to was, and so we're on the platform. Mastodon's playing. The bass player is smoking crack on stage while keeping time. It was fucking awesome. And at the same time, the security at the entry to the front of house point asked me if Robert Trujillo of Metallica, the bass player from Metallica, come up and watch the show from front of house. And I said, well, of course. Well, he had his wife. And now all of a sudden, we're on a relatively, I want to say 8x8, 8x10 little platform, mixed in front of house with 8,000 people around us. And I had a camera tower. You'll like this, Fuki, right next to us. A camera tower right next to us, and the orange little rubber stuff they use to outline the stay away zone. And so I jumped off the platform. As I did, you held my hand on one of the
You shook it.
yeah, and no, that's the second thing that happened. I grabbed onto to kind of gain stability and jump down, and I grabbed onto the tent pole on the right corner, and the whole tent pulled down and smashed Robert Trujillo in the head. He'd only worked for Ozzy Osbourne and suicidal tendencies. I basically gave him a full-on concussion, and at the same so it turns out I looked down to see what the hell's going on. They had put the tent up. You know how you adjust for the levels, the different heights to get the heights right? With my hand to God, chopsticks. How I don't know how they didn't work. So
Speaking of ringers,
I had my Sharpie, like any good roadie always has their Sharpie, and I re-leveled the tent, and I pushed
Jesus,
and I thought, okay, guys, saved him. Robert Trujillo, big guy, This is Bob Trujillo. I know this guy since like the 80s from Suicidal Tendencies. He's looking like I'm going to fuck you up. And so I lean back and I hit the tower, and the tower shakes, and the guy smashed me on the head, the cameraman. I swear to God, I have woken up to that dream over my career. I don't know how many times.
That story brought in camera guys,
heat.
brought in riggers, brought in everything we've talked about during this whole show.
Oh,
I have such nightmares. My career's been perfect. But anyway, we're out of fucking time. All right, we're out of time. We're out of time. Everything's been perfect. And I guess it's my turn next, right? Like, I need to do something next. Al did something the last show. You did something. So I got to come up with something for the next show. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking cause trouble. I'm going to make somebody shit themselves or something like that. Something.
Is that a roadie myth?
It's an audio myth, I think.
I want to throw something out there to all the youngsters coming up in the industry.
Absolutely.
You know, if you have a dream, follow it, man. You
Yes.
could make anything happen.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, that is
Watch
great
us.
advice.
Anything can happen.
We're doing it right now, kids.
Watch us.
We're doing it right now. That's
Just
really
put your
great
heart
advice.
into it.
I mean, this show, like 2 weeks ago, was a conversation in the middle of the parking lot.
Simple as that.
That's
I think
all
it
it
was
was.
2 Wednesdays ago.
Yeah, it was like,
and here we are.
Here we are having
you know,
fun.
For better or for worse.
Yep.
Oh,
for worse.
Probably for worse. We're going to get a lot of judgment on this, but hit us with your best shot. We enjoy constructive criticism.
Yes.
That's a lie.
Don't do that.
But basically, yes, sir.
I want to give a shout out to a few people.
Please
Do it.
You
Go
know,
on.
I want
it.
to give a shout out to Mary Connie of Another Planet,
She's a
Steve
badass.
Payne, Live Nation,
Yes.
you know, and Joe Victoria, and all the production companies that have had faith in me and my work.
What about Joe Battle? Yeah, you want to?
Letting me go from nothing
The truck
10
driver.
years ago to the top.
Right.
Let's not forget that you worked your ass off too, though, and
Well,
you brought
yeah,
a certain
yeah.
amount of
Well, you
passion
need your
and
breaks.
professionalism. Now, this guy.
And timing's everything.
He doesn't
Timing
come
is
in. He
everything.
doesn't
Yeah.
come in.
Relationships
everything.
are everything.
Yeah, and that is really. If we're going to leave on a note, let's leave on that note. I think in this business, one thing that is really critical is there's some luck involved. There's a lot of networking involved, but relationships and hard work is what stands out at the end of the day. The people that can problem solve on the fly.
Yep.
We are in the live rock and roll business. When something jumps off, 30 seconds can feel like a lifetime, and we need to have people out there that don't break under pressure, that can respond to a situation, and they can only do it because they understand the whole of the system. Following signal, the many different, and this is why we don't turn out guys here from Sound Image until they're ready. We
Right.
make them go through the paces until they fully understand. You graduate up through the speaker on the stick jobs to the stadium stuff, and it's
Our
a thing.
bosses don't want excuses. They want fucking
Outcome.
answers.
They want outcomes.
And they certainly don't want panic.
You don't give excuses.
And speaking of our bosses, I would like to give a shout out to David Stone, the founder and
Oh, we're getting him on the
CEO.
show.
Oh my God!
Oh
that'd be
my
so
God,
good.
we're getting Dave on the show.
Sound
You've
Image,
been warned.
Southern California, and all the Sound Image branches. He is the main man. My big brother and mentor, George Edwards, the general manager and God
Homeboy.
of all things of Sound Image Productions.
Yep.
And to Truth and Audio, my boy Bernie Broderick, the guy behind the camera, Leaf Osborne. Leaf, thank you so much, my friend. And once again, to our special guest, John Fukishima. We really appreciate you coming in. It's been a delight. And,
Thank you
know,
for
I love
having me
always
here.
seeing you, my friend. Thank you
Badass,
so
man.
much.
I'm so stoked to talk about bikes and Hell's Angels and stuff. It's been, it's fantasy for a young man. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he lived it. That's
Yeah,
the difference.
yeah.
Your fantasy, his reality.
his reality.
Yeah.
And I hung out with, my son used to be sponsored by Arlen Ness.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole custom bike thing and stuff, it's been around me for a long time, and the big twins and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting you back, and we're gonna roll that fucking tractor in here, man. We're
Well,
gonna,
I
we're
can
gonna
promise
pound
you
some
we're gonna
metal or
bring-
do something.
We're going to bring Fuki back
We'll put
with
them
his
both side
permission
by side.
with Joe
Oh, yeah.
Victoria, Metallica's videographer, and
Yeah.
Mr. All-Around fucking great guy.
Yeah.
And maybe we can do a little tag team with him if that's something that sounds okay to you, Fuk.
I'd love it.
All right, fuckers.
I'd love it.
We're gonna jet. Thanks a lot. It was not quite as shitty as the last one, but we'll try harder.
Yes,
All right.
It will always get better. And please remember, we're going to put up something from Greg Price, the one and
Greg
only
Price.
Greg Price. We had a 30-minute interview with him just before Fuki arrived. That was fantastic, illuminating. This is one of the top engineers in the business and a great dear friend of ours. And I really highly suggest you watch it. It was quite an interview and a treat for us. You folks out there have a great night. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.
Mom, send me money.
And we're
I don't even know if Leaf knows how to stop this fucking thing. Leaf, kill it. Fucking kill it. I don't
put
know.
a fork in it, Leafer.
Put a fork in it. It's done.
Jesus Christ. What the hell is my brother doing calling her in the middle show the second time? Why does he do this? Fuki, help me understand.
Should I stop the stream?
Stop